Hello students and welcome to my class. So in the last class I had started simplex method and I had shown you one problem, the step-by-step method of solution of the problem by simplex method. So in today's lecture I will take up two more problems which are of similar type as the earlier problem, and please observe the steps very carefully as all the steps are very much important in the simplex method. Okay, so let us take up this problem solved by simplex method. Maximize z equal to 60x1 plus 50x2 subject to the constraints x1 plus 2x2 less than or equal to 40 and 3x1 plus 2x2 less than or equal to 60. So there are two constraints. Okay, so we begin our solution this way, just as we had done in the earlier lecture as well, introducing slack variables s1 and s2 because there are two constraints and both the constraints are less than or equal to, so we introduce slack variables. Okay, so if we introduce slack variables, our constraints will get converted to equality. So we have these two equations. Okay, and then the next step is we have to put the other variables as 0 except the slack variables. We will put other variables to 0 to get the initial basic feasible solution. Okay, so putting x1 equal to x2 equal to 0, we get s1 equal to 40 and s2 equal to 60 as the initial basic feasible solution. Okay, so we construct the following simplex table. So if you remember, this was the basic structure of a simplex table. Okay, so we construct a table of this type. The columns are B, this is the basis, this is the column for basis, this is the column corresponding to cost of the basic variables. Then xb is the column corresponding to the values of the basic variables. X1 is the column corresponding to the first variable x1. X2 is the column corresponding to the second variable x2. S1 is the column corresponding to the artificial variable s1. The slack variable s1. And s2 is the column corresponding to the slack variable s2. And the last column we can compute the minimum ratio, which is xb, each element of xb divided by the corresponding elements of the incoming vector, provided that corresponding elements of the incoming vector should be positive. Okay, we cannot divide by 0 or negative numbers here. Okay, so this is the basic structure of the simplex table. Okay, so as you watch this video, I would recommend you to do the problem in the copy as well, so that you can understand. So this is the first step, you construct this particular table. Okay, now we will fill up the values. Okay, we will fill up the values and see what happens. Okay, so yeah, so these are the values here. Cj is the cost of the jth variable. So for cost of x1 is 60, cost of x2 is 50, cost of s1 is 0, cost of s2 is 0. Okay, so we have seen that. And from the matrix, for the cost of the slack variables are always 0. Okay, so these are the cost of the slack variable. So initially the basis contains only slack variables. So s1 and s2, they are the elements of the basis. Okay, vectors in the basis vectors. Okay, so cost of the basis vectors are 0 and 0. Values of the basic variables initially, s1 equal to 40 and s2 equal to 60, we had already got that. So these are the values of the basic variables, and these are the coefficients of the matrix of the system that we had obtained. Okay, these are the coefficient, this is the coefficient matrix. Okay, if you just observe in the earlier step, the coefficient matrix are this. The first column is 1 3, second column is 2 2, the third column is 1 0, fourth column is 0 1. Okay, so this is what we have written here. Okay, so let us see how we can plot this. So it's B, okay, we try to do it in this Excel file. Say B, and they say this is your CB, cost of the basic variables, then this is your XB, and this is your X1, this is X2, this is the column S1, this is your S2. Okay, and these are your CJ. So what is the first CJ? So 60, 50, then 0 and 0. Okay, so this is how we fill up this. So initially your basis contains the vectors s1 and s2, so these are the basis vectors. Okay, and here we have to write what? We have to write zj equal to cb multiplied with yj. Okay, yj are the columns. Y1 is the column corresponding to x1. Okay, y2 is the column corresponding to x2. Okay, y3 is the column corresponding to s1. That is the third column. Okay, like that. So this is what we have written, and here initially the cost is 0. Okay, here also initially the cost is 0. Okay, so this is also 0, cost is 0. Okay, initially value of s1 is 40 and value of s2 is 60, as we have already seen. Okay, we have already seen here value of s1 is 40, s2 is 60. Okay, now let us enter the columns here. 1 3 2 2, so it's 1 3, then this second column is 2 2. Okay, the third column is 1 0. Okay, the fourth column is 0 1. Okay, these are the values. Next, what I have to calculate? We have to calculate here cb multiplied with yj. So it's 0 into 1 multiplied with 0 into 3. Okay, so we are multiplying this. We are multiplying this with this vector with this vector. Okay, we are multiplying this two. Right, so this is what is happening. 0 into 1 plus 0 into 3. Okay, so this is actually 0 into 1 plus 0 into 3, so it's 0. Okay, so since the cost vector is initially 0, so all these entries will be 0. Okay, we don't have to calculate it for the first step. We don't have to calculate. Okay, right, so now let us see what are the other steps. Next step is we have to write here cj minus delta j. Delta j is cj minus zj. Okay, delta j equal to cj minus zj. This is what we have to calculate. So cj for the first column is 60. For the first column zj is 0. So it's 60 minus 0. Okay. 60 minus 0. Right. So that is 60. Here it will be 50 minus 0. Okay. So it's 50. This is 0 minus 0. It's 0. This is also 0. Okay. So you observe that all delta j are not negative. Okay. Less than or equal to 0. If all delta j less than or equal to 0, then our solution is optimal. Okay. So here there are some delta j which are positive. Okay. So our solution is not optimal, right? So what we have to do? The next step is we have to select the maximum positive value of delta j. Okay. So here the maximum positive value is 60. 60 is the maximum positive value of the delta j. Okay. So 60 corresponds to the vector x1. So the vector x1 is our incoming vector. Okay, x1 will enter the basis now. Okay, so this is what we have done here in this step. So we have computed these values. So delta j, cj minus zj. So this 60 is the largest delta j. So we put an arrow mark here. So it will mean that this vector x1 will enter into the basis now. Okay, so x1 will come somewhere in this position. Which position? It will be decided by the minimum ratio. Okay, either x1 will take the position of s1 or it will take the position of s2. Okay, but that will be decided by the minimum ratio. Okay, so we have to compute what is the minimum ratio. Okay, so x1 is our incoming vector. So we calculate this minimum ratio. Okay, for so it's xb by, so it's 40 divided by 1. Okay, so the corresponding elements are divided. Okay, the next one is 60 divided by 3. Okay, so it's 20. So minimum value is 20, right? So minimum ratio here is 20. It corresponds to the vector s2. Okay, this corresponds to the vector s2. That means s2 is the outgoing vector. Okay, this s2 is the outgoing vector. Okay, so that means x1 will take the position of s2. Okay, So here you can see in the note that I have prepared, this is the arrow mark. It shows that S2 is the outgoing vector. S2 will leave the basis and x1 will enter into the basis. Okay, because the minimum ratio here is 20 is the minimum ratio. Okay, so you understand the arrow marks. Okay, this arrow, it's given first, it's the incoming vector. Okay, then this arrow, it shows the outgoing vector. Okay, the minimum ratio, and so the outgoing vector is S2. Okay, so S2 will leave the basis, x1 will enter into the basis. Okay, so what is the next part of the table? Next part is this. So when you write in your copy, you have to write it inside a single table. Okay, so the first part we have done here. The second part is S1 will enter the S2 will leave the basis, x1 will enter the basis. Okay, so you see x1 enters in the position of S2 only. Okay, so the cost of S1 is 0, cost of x1 is 60. Okay, so what we do, the next step, as I told you in the earlier lecture also, in the first step, after you get the incoming and outgoing vector, the element that lies at the intersection of these two arrows, okay, will be called the key element. So here the key element is 3. Okay, so if you observe here in this Excel sheet, the value which lies in the intersection of this S2 and x1, and the row corresponding to S2 and column corresponding to x1 is 3. So 3 is the key element here. Okay, 3 is the key element. So in the next step, what I have to do, S1 will enter here, x1 will enter here. Okay, value of the cost of S1 is 0, cost of x1 is 60. Okay, and this row will be divided by the key element. Okay, so it's 60 by 3, that is 20. This one is 1. This will be equal to 2 by 3. Okay, so we will not write it in 0.67, we will write it in fraction. Okay, we will write this one as fraction. Okay, so no need to use calculator, you do these things manually. Okay, 0, and then this is equal to 1 by 3. Okay, so 1 by 3 also we'll write it in fraction. Okay, yeah, so 1 by 3. So you see, this is the row that I have got here, 21, 2 by 3, 0 and 1 by 3. Okay, then what is the next step? I have to make the other elements of the incoming vector 0. Okay, the element corresponding to the key element will be made 1. Every other element in that particular column has to be made 0. So what is the other element here? Other element is 1. So how can I make this 0? I have to use the elementary row operations. Okay, so I have to make use of this particular 1 here. Okay, so we have a 1 here, we have a 1 here. How to make this 0? So we just subtract R1 changes to R1 minus R2. Okay, so this is what we will do here. R1 changes to R1 minus R2. Okay, R1 changes to R1 minus R2. So this is what we will do here. So if we do that, you will see what you get. Okay, so 40. So this will become 40 minus what is the new R2? New R2 is 20 here. So 40 minus 20, it's 20. Okay, here it will be 1 minus 1. Okay. This will be 2 minus 2 by 3. Okay, what is that? So it's, we'll write it in fraction. 2 minus 2 by 3 is this. Okay, so it's 4 by 3. Okay, so this is what in fact I have written here. Okay, so that way you have to calculate. So it's 4 by 3, then it's 1, then it is minus 1 by 3. Okay, so this is how we do. Okay, so in the next step, so it's 4 by 3, then it is 1 minus 0. Okay, and this is equal to 0 minus 1 by 3. Okay, so it's minus 0.33. We'll write it in fractions. Okay, the number is written in fraction. Okay, so this is this step. Next we will again compute what is Zj and what is delta j. Okay, so zj is cb multiplied with this cb multiplied with yj. Okay, so cb is this multiplied with yj. So the first one will be equal to 0 into 0 plus 60 into 1. Okay, so it's 60. The second one will be 0 into 4 by 3, 0 into 4 by 3 plus 60 into 2 by 3, 60 into 2 by 3. Okay, this don't equal to here. Okay, so it's 40, right? So that way this will be 0, this will be equal to 20. Okay, so and if you subtract delta j, cj minus zj, this will become 0, this will become 10, this will be 0, and this will become minus 20. Okay, so here again delta j, there is at least one delta j which is greater than 0, so our solution is not optimal. Okay, so we have to mark this particular delta j. So this 10, right, so 10 corresponds to the vector x2, so x2 is the incoming vector. Now see, I have given the arrow mark here. Okay, so this x2 is the incoming vector, right? X2 enters the basis. Okay, and then you compute the minimum ratio as well, so it will be xb divided by the corresponding elements of x2. Okay, so the minimum ratio comes out to be 15. Okay, minimum ratio is 15, and then in the next step what we do, we divide by 4 by 3. The key element is 4 by 3, so you divide the row by 4 by 3. Okay, x2 will enter the basis and s1 will leave the basis. Okay, so we divide this x2 by the key element. Okay, so 20 divided by 4 by 3 comes out to be 15. Okay, so 0, then this is 1, this is 3 by 4, this will be minus 1 by 4. Okay, and again, so I have to make the other elements of the incoming vector 0. Okay, so this was an element, this element has to be made 0. Okay, so this will be r2 changes to r2 minus 2 by 3 times of r1. Okay, this is what I have to perform here. R2 changes to r2 minus 2 by 3 times of r1. Okay, so if we perform this operation, then we will get the new second row of this table. Okay, so we can just compute it. It will come as 10, 1, 0 minus half and half. Okay, so delta j is 0, 0 minus 15 by 2 minus 70 by 4. Okay, so thus all delta j less than or equal to 0. So the optimal solution is obtained. Okay, and it is given by x1 equal to 10, x2 equal to 15. Okay, x1 is 10, x2 is 15. So from the table itself you can have the values. Okay, x1 is 10, x2 is 15, and the maximum value of z is 60x1 plus 50x2. So it comes out to be 1350. Okay, so this was the first problem. We will also do another problem. Okay.